Yo, what's up, man?
How's it going, dude?
Going all right. Going all right. How are you?
I'm doing good.
Nice. Where where
Yeah.
where, where you live? Where you calling from?
I'm in Richmond.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Close to the sixes.
Yeah. I mean, you know, probably like 3 hours, but
Oh,
I'm
that's
going.
not that close.
Yeah, but I'm still going to it.
Nice. I don't even
Yeah.
know the name of the arena or I don't even know the name of the town. I just know it's in
Yeah.
Virginia, to be honest.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be fun. I know it's gonna be fun.
I'm pumped. I'm
Yeah.
excited to play.
Oh yeah, you get to play in it too, dude. That's gonna be
Yeah.
sweet. Yeah.
Definitely. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, I'm pumped, so I'll just introduce you and get into it.
Let's do it. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
Welcome back to the Lax Locker Room. Today we've got a good one. Max Krevsky, former Yale standout and now running with the New York Atlas in the PLL. He's played at the highest level in college and now he's competing against the best in the world every weekend. We're talking about his journey to Yale, what it's like playing in the PLL, and tips for young players who want to level up their game. Let's get into it with Max Krevsky. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate the introduction. Hit the
Absolutely.
hit the nail on the head.
Yeah. So for people who don't know you, can you give us like a short introduction, like where you're from and how you first got into lacrosse?
Yeah. For those who don't know me, like you mentioned, my name is Max Krevsky from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, um, which is actually closer to Baltimore than it is to Philly. So pretty, not a major hotbed of lacrosse. Um, yeah, as you mentioned, went to Yale, graduated last year, and then played played with the Atlas this past year, my rookie year, and won the championship. So
Yep.
yes, sir.
Absolutely awesome. Did you grow up in a lacrosse family?
I did not grow up in a lacrosse family. So, as I mentioned, grew up in Harrisburg where, when I was your age, there wasn't much club in my area at all.
Right.
My parents didn't play lacrosse. They never even heard of it. And then this team called Team Money. I'm not sure if you've
Yeah.
ever heard of them.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely.
Team Money, ran by my coach Bergie. He played at Salisbury, loves lacrosse. Um, Moved back to central Pennsylvania and started this club called Team Money. I had never heard of lacrosse. It was not popular in my area at all. Um, and figured, they're having a camp tryout, a clinic. Why not go to it? And so I think that was in fourth grade was my first time like getting
Okay.
introduced to lacrosse. And then yeah, the rest was history. I played baseball as well. So obviously in the spring, I played lacrosse and baseball for 2 springs. But by that third one, my mom was like, "This is too much travel.
Yeah.
It's too much for me to worry about. You got to make a
Right.
decision." So went with lacrosse. Definitely glad I made that decision.
Yeah.
Yeah,
For sure. I'm the same way. I think I stopped playing baseball sixth grade, but I
yep,
played baseball like my whole life. Like my dad went to UVA playing baseball.
nice.
So I generally grew up in a baseball family. Um, but kind of stopped in sixth grade and really got into deep into lacrosse, I guess you could say.
Yeah, no,
Um,
I'm the same way.
yeah. Did you play rec early on, or did that led to travel ball?
Yeah, so when I first started, just played rec for my high school district. I did that for about 3 years probably.
Okay.
And then, yeah, started playing club, where I would travel down to Baltimore, in around seventh grade is when I got pretty serious with the club, and I was traveling, multiple times per week going down to Baltimore to get the best competition.
Yeah.
And I would also play some like I don't know if you'd call it rec, but it was like local club ball
Okay.
with that team money. That's definitely where I got my start, but that was all local, just in the area. So
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome. Who were some of your mentors and role models growing up?
I mean, I keep harping on the fact that Harrisburg's just not a hotbed for lacrosse.
Yeah.
So I'd say my role models were just the other Division 1 commits and players, um, that were a lot older than me when I was growing up, just because there were only a few of them.
Right.
Guys that like Stevie Peters and Clay Miller. I'm not sure if you're familiar with them, but went to my high school and they played Division 1. They were a handful of years older than me, but some of the only Division 1 recruits in the area. So definitely looked
Wow.
up to those guys. Um, just like proving that you can make it to Division 1. from where I'm from.
Right.
Like it's definitely a possibility, but it's rare. So
Yeah,
definitely provided that motivation for me to work hard and get to that next level.
absolutely. And I guess you were the third one, maybe the third D1.
I think from my high school, I was the third ever Division I player. Um, but yeah, in my senior year of high school, we only really had like I think it was two Division I recruits in the
Wow.
uh entire league, entire
Wow,
conference.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, what helps you the most in high school, working out or wall ball? Like what helped you the most? Or even both?
In high school specifically.
Yeah.
So I was always undersized in high school. Um, always the shortest in my grade, uh, skinniest in my grade, lightest in my grade. I was always pretty quick, but as far as like physical attributes, I was definitely on the smaller side.
Okay.
Um, so for me personally in high school, I really focused on my weight training, like you mentioned. So putting on that weight because I had ground to make up. I always grew up as a skinny kid, and so definitely wanted to put on some muscle and gain some strength. So I would say around my junior year, hit my growth spurt. Um, and I probably went into high school around 5'9", like 140 probably,
Okay.
and graduated at 6'2", uh, 200 pounds. Went into college at 210. So,
Wow.
so definitely like spent a lot of time in the weight room.
Yeah.
In high school grades.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
yeah.
What was the best part about going to high school in PA? There were some super hot lacrosse areas in Pennsylvania, but obviously, like you said, not particularly where you grew up.
hmm I mean, I think that in itself was what made playing in PA fun was because you had the kids from Philly who are all at these prep schools playing for the best club teams. Um, a lot of Division I players from that area, as you know. And then some
Yeah.
surrounding areas in PA, like you'll have some hotbeds. Um, but no one really expects much out of the Harrisburg kids. And so I think that's
Right.
kind of what made it
Yeah.
fun was, you kind of had to you were competing with the Philly kids a little bit because you never really put on the same pedestal, and so it was always cool when you had the chance to play them in club, just to see how you compare. And then yeah, playing for my high school team, um, everyone who was playing lacrosse, you pretty much knew each other. You knew who the best players were, and so it definitely made for some fun rivalries, just because there weren't a lot of top tier talent, I'd say.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's like kind of cool, just like from your standpoint, because then you can kind of like see like, well, I'm like really good, honestly, like, because you can see how like you're progressing if there's not a lot of good other good players, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Um, During your high school years, what were some of the main goals you had?
Going into high school, I'd say my main goal was just to make it to the next level, to play college lacrosse. I didn't necessarily, obviously, setting a goal of Division I became a reality for me. I'd say, after my freshman year, I recognize, I can compete with the kids on varsity, stuff like that. But, just in high school, I think I made the decision is like, I want to play in college. I love this sport. I know I can leverage it to, possibly make my way into a great academic institution, whether that's Division I or Division III, Division II even. Um, but that was my main goal was just to play at the next level.
Right,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, I'd say, once I started putting on some size and put my name out there on the club circuit a little bit, I kind of recognized that, um, I could play Division I. It's a reality. I
Yeah,
really don't know. And I didn't know until September 1st of my junior year. I reached out to a handful of my top Division I choices. I also reached out to a handful of my top Division III choices. A lot of those were Ivy League schools and then like NESCAC schools, just because I really wanted to, make my way to a great academic institution at the end of the day.
right.
Um, so yeah, like you mentioned, my goal was to play at the next level, whether it was Division I or Division III, I didn't know. Um, so yeah,
You just want to compete at the next level, absolutely.
yep, yep.
But kind of were you trying to focus on lacrosse, school, or even both?
Definitely school was always the priority. I mean, you got to get your homework done first, and
Yeah,
then you can worry about the fun stuff like the
yeah,
lacrosse and hanging out with friends. But yeah, I think it's always important to just prioritize getting your schoolwork done,
yeah,
uh, free up that time to really devote it to training. But
absolutely.
yeah, definitely like schoolwork is number one priority always, because you can be a great lacrosse player, but you've got lacking grades, and there's going to be some opportunities that you'll miss out on. So
Yeah, for
yeah.
sure. If you could go back, what would be some things that you wish you could have done that young lacrosse players like me could have done?
Um, I mean, this is kind of an interesting scenario just because my high school years were tainted because of COVID. I played my freshman year and my sophomore year, but then junior year was 2020, so there was COVID, didn't have a season, and then my senior year I ended up tearing my knee, and I had to miss my senior season.
Mm,
So I only got 2 seasons of high school lacrosse, and they were very fun. I really enjoyed my time playing.
yeah,
Um, but obviously, I wish I would do anything to go back and get those like two
I know.
upperclassmen years back. I would pay a lot of money to go back and be
Yeah,
able to play those 2 years. So I think that really helped me recognize, like, my answer is not necessarily like you gotta train more, you gotta do this, you gotta do that, but it's you gotta really appreciate every game and every day that you get to play because it's not a given at the end of the day. There could be a pandemic that springs out
yeah,
and that you don't know about and you'll miss your senior season or whatever it may be. And so, when I got to college, I was able to recognize like, hey, this is such a fun opportunity, even just to be at practice right now. Not even at the game, just being at lifts and being with my teammates, like really appreciating the little things. I
yeah,
think it's hard for younger players to really appreciate that and understand that. But, if you love the game that much, you'll find a lot of joy in the little things like that.
yeah, absolutely. And I did not realize that you that was your junior season, and then your then your senior season that you tore your ACL or your knee.
Yeah.
That's tough. Yeah,
You're, you're
that's tough.
you're selling me. You're selling me. It
Yeah,
was it was it was brutal for sure.
absolutely. What was your recruiting process like?
Yeah, so my recruiting process, as I mentioned earlier, didn't really know if I was going to play Division 3, Division 1, wherever it may be. I did play for a high level club team out of Baltimore. We called Coopers. Um, if you know Dom Petramala and Sherwood
Yeah.
Sunderland, like those guys were on my team. In that grade, they actually played up to play with me. But that was like I was on a high level club team, so I knew I could compete. Where was the next question? Um, After September 1st of my junior year, I did get a handful of Division 1 schools reach out to me. Like I had um, Wagner and St. Joe's. Let me think who else. Um, Bucknell. So definitely
Mm,
some great schools.
yeah.
Obviously not where I ended up. I didn't get that influx of Ivy League, ACC, Big Ten.
Yeah.
Um, but I was just happy to, have some interest. Drexel was another school. So I probably heard from 4 or 5 Division 1 schools on September 1st, and
Yeah.
I was ecstatic. I was pumped. As I'm sure a lot of other people are on September
Yeah.
1st.
Absolutely.
Also heard from some great D3 schools like Muhlenberg, Swarthmore, schools like that.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, as I progressed in the fall, like went on a couple recruiting visits to those schools that I mentioned, and then I played in a tournament in the fall. And this tournament was I definitely probably one of the best 3 days of lacrosse I've ever played.
Well, that's
Um,
awesome.
I'd like to argue that I was one of the better players at the tournament, if not
Okay.
if not the best. I'll just say that. But yeah, definitely I played really well, and there were still a lot of Division 1 coaches at those games, and so that was more so towards the end of the fall. Um, and from that, I ended up getting interest from schools like Army, Air
Mm,
Force, Delaware, Towson.
yeah.
Um, so definitely had some more options on the table.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, narrowed down my search to Army, Delaware, and Towson. And so ended up committing to the University of Delaware in December and was super pumped. I was excited to be a Blue Hen. They have a great program, great coaching staff over there in Delaware, and was committed there for about 5 months, and then COVID hit, like I mentioned, my junior year. So
Yeah.
that was in the summer, and all the D1 programs, all the college teams had to pause their recruiting or their season actually, and they could open up recruiting again. So I guess my coach at Yale must have been on the sideline at that tournament in the fall, like I mentioned,
Yeah.
because got a text from my coach at Yale and said, "Hey, we're interested. Let's set up a phone call." And I was like, "Coach, I'm committed to Delaware." He's like, "Yeah, I know, but let's still talk, basically." And so, um, yeah, long story short, took my SAT a couple more times and got a good score. They offered me a spot, and it was a pretty easy decision to take that offer to Yale. So
That's awesome.
that's how I ended up there.
That that
Yale was my only Ivy League offer. My only interest from any Ivy League, Big Ten or ACC, any Big
yeah.
Ten program was Yale. So yeah,
Yeah, that's a cool story. That's a really kind of like cool path. I
yeah.
never really had thought of that, especially committing for 5 months too. Like you would think after 5 months, it's like you're set and done. Um,
I had all the merch. I had all the
yeah, I
sweatshirts.
mean, yeah,
Yeah.
and
So
then and then you just change like that.
yep.
I know nowadays it's all about putting your highlights on social media. What was it like then?
Yeah. I mean, back then, I'd say it was a pretty set system where you had your highlight tape video on YouTube. Um, and you sent your highlight tape in an email to your target schools, and you'd say, "Coach, this is my name, height, weight, GPA. Here's my highlight tape. I'm going to be at these tournaments." Because obviously you'd email them before September 1st because they can't talk to you. So you put all that information and say, "These are the tournaments I'm going to be at. These are the fields. These are the times," making it as easy as possible for them to come watch you play.
Yeah,
And it was really a lot of pressure on you to make it happen and put your name out there and hope that they'll watch your highlight tape and come watch you play. um
absolutely.
so that was a big help. And that's really I guess how the recruiting process went back then. It was
Okay.
a lot of just emailing and hope for the best.
Yeah, did you is there like a way nowadays or even back then like to where you can like kind of create an email that you send out to multiple college coaches at once, but like it's all kind of different based or set on that college?
So I mean, you can definitely just create a template. um Obviously leaving blank the coach's name and the school,
Yeah.
whatever it may be. But if you want to send that email off to 30 people, it's definitely super easy now with ChatGPT to just like compile that email and
Yeah.
have it ready to send off to 30 different coaches.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I'd imagine that's definitely what I did was just create a template, hi coach blank, maybe a
Yeah.
little sentence about the school, and then yeah, the rest of the email can be pretty consistent after that.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So kind of going off of that, did you attend any showcases?
I did. Um, the showcases that I attended were usually in association with a tournament. Um, the only one real showcase that I attended was called Igloo 80, I think it was.
Okay.
I think the Igloo, the club team, hosts it in Long
Yeah.
Island, um, which my club team got invited to. So that was really the only showcase I did, but I never did any of the like Maverick Showtime or
Best in class
Best
or
in Class. That wasn't even a thing when I was getting recruited.
oh,
Um,
okay.
yeah, so I wasn't really a big showcase
Yeah.
person. I just
You
went
just
to tournaments.
tournaments
Yeah,
and stuff. Yeah, it's
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
What is one thing kids today worry too much about in their recruiting process? Like, do you have any advice?
I would say they worry too much about the highlight tape. They worry too much about the Instagram highlight and
Okay.
focusing more on getting the behind the back clip in slow-mo
Yeah.
than showcasing their ability. Obviously, social media is cool, and there's a lot of positives that have come out of social media and getting your name out there, and just the highlights we get to see, and you get to mimic, and learn from. It's super valuable tool. It's invaluable, but you know, I think as college coaches, they're a little bit more old school. They didn't grow up with social media, so they're
Yeah.
not as apt to it. Um, what they want to see is that you pick up the trash from the sideline and um, you carry your gear. You don't let your dad carry your gear. The little
Yeah.
things like that, I think, go a long way for college coaches. And, when there's a focus about getting the highlight tape behind the back, inside, around the world, whatever it may be,
Yeah.
um, I think some kids can get a little mixed up on that, and they gotta, focus on the basics and make
Yeah.
sure that they're doing little things right before they start going for the highlight tape
Yeah,
reels.
absolutely.
Yeah.
So I know that you went to an Ivy League school. What was your motivation to go there?
I mean, I think just the name recognition, it speaks for itself.
Yeah.
You get to say that you go to Yale. It's pretty cool. So that is obviously just in the back of your mind all the time.
Yeah.
Um, but on top of that, it has such great, name recognition because of, just the opportunity to learn when you're there. You have the best academics in the world. Um, and to be able to play lacrosse and get the best education at one time, it's hard to compete with that, in my opinion.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
What ultimately made Yale the right decision for you?
Coaching staff, I'd say, in hand in hand with the academics. Um, the culture that we had at Yale was very much put your head down, get your work done, don't
Yeah.
complain. It's not going to be easy. You don't have all the perks of these, Big Ten schools like that have the major, nutritional coaches and class tutors and stuff like that. It's a
Yeah.
it's a lot of, you're treated at Yale, as I'm sure other Ivy League students are at these other Ivy League schools. You're treated like a regular student. You're not really treated like an athlete, which
Yeah.
some people like, some people don't like. I personally really enjoyed it because it caused me to hone in on my, time management ability, making sure that I'm on top of my schoolwork consistently. It really just set me up for the post grad life, to be just a seamless transition and make sure that I'm obviously educated and, you know, I didn't really have, I don't know if you want to call it handouts, but just going to Yale, it was definitely a grind and made you work
Yeah.
hard and dig deep. So that's what I really enjoyed.
Yeah, well, that makes you better as a person too, especially if you like it. Like if you like
Yeah,
like grinding and like you said, like understanding that it's going to be tough every time, then it's going to be a right fit because you'll just like it. Um,
exactly.
what is the hardest part about showing up as a freshman on the first day, especially on the lacrosse field?
The hardest part about showing up as a freshman, to a big time Division I program, I'd say, is just you kind of feel like you're in shock. Like these guys are so much bigger than you.
Yeah.
They're so much more skilled than you. Maybe this is different for me because I didn't come from, a lacrosse powerhouse. I didn't come from a prep school where there's a lot of other Division I talent. I was surrounded by guys that never played college lacrosse or maybe, played D3, whatever it may be. And
Yeah.
so when I got to Yale, just having 50 other guys that were all the captains of their high school team, they're all huge, they're all fast, they're all smart. Definitely that shock is like, all right, I'm back at the bottom of the totem pole. A lot of people struggle with that being Mr. Cool Guy, successful in high school, and then
Yeah.
you get to college and it's like, all right, there's everyone else here was in the same boat as me. And
Yeah.
so just yeah, that was definitely
Yeah, that's
uh,
tough.
my first thought when I
Yeah.
transitioned was wow, these guys are all legit.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's like what it is like to college. Um, did you have any particular upperclassmen that helped you understand the college experience for the first few weeks?
Lacrosse wise or just overall college
Just
experience?
overall college experience.
Definitely. I mean, all of the seniors and upperclassmen in general, really, took us under our wing. When we when my recruiting class got there, we had over 20 freshmen, so a lot of guys to take care of.
Yeah.
And so the seniors and the upperclassmen really did a great job of ensuring that, we got up to speed quick, and we had the best practices for getting to class on time, sitting in the front row, getting your schoolwork done, stuff like that, just so it can ensure that when we're on the lacrosse field, we can fully check in and make sure that we're showing up every day. fully there mentally and ready to go from early on.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, what's the best part about attending an Ivy League school? I know, just even the thought of attending an Ivy League school, like that's just like a big accomplishment.
Yeah. The best part about attending an Ivy League school is the people I'd say that you're surrounded by. Um, Everyone that attends Yale, Harvard, Princeton, all these major academic institutions, they were all valedictorians of their respective high schools. They were all the smartest kids in their class, and they're not just that, but they have special qualities about them that set them apart.
Yeah.
And you really get to experience such a different culture when you're at a school like that. And that's what I value the most, which is getting to learn from the people that I'm sitting next to in class. A lot of international students, a lot of just ways of life that I was never really exposed to. I think that was one of the coolest things that I got to experience.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's just cool, like thinking of going to an Ivy League school, like it's just crazy. Um,
Yep.
what's the toughest part about balancing school and lacrosse, especially at an Ivy League school? You know, where academics are just super tough, but it's a grind.
The hardest part I'd say is that time management side of things because um, you'll have days where you're waking up for a 7 a.m. lift. You go back to back classes, right to your lunch, right to your film session, right to your afternoon practice, maybe another class after practice, and then you gotta do your homework. And so
Yeah,
some of those days can get long,
yeah,
to put it simply.
I believe
And
it.
yeah, and really just having a good schedule, um, staying disciplined on when I'm in this 50-minute class, I'm gonna focus, I'm gonna be present, and then I'm gonna move to the next thing and really just chopping it up one by one and not focusing on, okay, I completed I completed today, more so like focusing on every little block of time
Right.
and start trying to stay present and just putting 100% effort into each block that you have during the day.
Yeah. How many blocks or classes did you have each day?
I'd say the average day was 2 to 3 classes.
Okay.
Some of them are like an hour and 15 minutes. Some of them are 50 minutes. So longer class periods in high school.
Yeah.
Um, so that was another thing that I had to get used to was like being able to focus for those hour-long classes when I was used to maybe a 30-minute class in high school, for example. Um, so yeah, the average day was only, I'd say 2 or 3 classes. Sometimes it
Okay.
could be four, sometimes five, but on average, 2 to 3.
Okay. So yeah, that's not bad at all.
No.
Yeah. What were some ways you found helpful to train in the off season?
In the off season, I consider my off season in the summer. Um, Obviously the fall is the off season as well, but you're still doing a lot of lacrosse, still playing a bunch.
Yeah.
So for me in the summers, I was really focused on the gym and the weight room, like I mentioned to you.
Yeah.
Because oftentimes after the season in college, guys will lose 10, sometimes 15 pounds, and you just don't get to lift and work out as much when you're playing lacrosse and running, you know, 8 to 10 miles a game,
Yeah.
and let alone at practice, you're working hard too. And so after the season, it's really focused for me on building up my body again. And that's kind of what I focused on after this PLL season. Like I was battling a lot of nagging injuries, little tweaks here and there. So getting those rehabbed and then putting on that muscle that I might have lost throughout the season. So I'd
Yeah.
say like
And
lifting
after it,
4 days a week probably.
yeah.
Still keeping my hand in my stick as much as I can, but really focused on the weight room more so than the lacrosse field, I'd say.
Yeah. Just yeah, like you said, building up a lot of muscle.
Yep.
Which lift sessions were harder, in season or out of season?
Definitely out of season lifts.
Really?
Yeah,
Why is that?
definitely.
Why is that?
Because when you're in season, the focus is staying healthy. You're not trying to put
Mm,
on muscle or get faster or get stronger. When you're in season, you're focused on staying healthy, maintaining the muscle, maintaining the strength and speed that you've already built up.
yeah.
And so when you're in the summer and in the fall, that's when you got to really grind and put on the weight You got to get
Yeah.
stronger. You got to get faster. So those lifts and those workouts are going to look a lot different. Those were some of my favorites. That yes, they were more grindy, but you know, when you have 50 guys in the weight room and loud music on and you're working hard, it's there's nothing
That's-
really that can replicate that. It's a lot of
Yeah,
fun.
that's awesome. It sounds
Yeah,
super fun.
yeah, yeah.
Um, so since this is called the Lax Locker Room, do you have any crazy or funny locker room stories you can share from Yale?
Um, after after we win an Ivy League game, um, I guess this is somewhat locker room related, but uh, we'll all go in the locker room and take our helmets off. Um, and we just start flipping tables and screaming and shouting. Um, any chair, it's like our film room, so we would just throw everything, start spraying water bottles everywhere,
That's awesome.
waiting for our coach to come in,
Mm.
and we start singing our fight song. He'll come in the middle and
Mm.
singing the Yale fight song together. And
Yeah,
just like going crazy, like throwing stuff everywhere, flipping
yeah,
tables, like I mentioned. That's one of my favorite memories that I'll have for a long time. But
that's awesome.
like after those Ivy League wins, it was a fun celebration. I'll
That's
tell you that
super,
much. Yeah,
yeah, it's super cool.
yeah.
Um, Being a midfielder at the collegiate level, what is the hardest part, running or staying consistent the whole game?
I'd say consistency. Because at the midfield position you have O midi, D midi, LSM, face off. You have a bunch of different positions. I definitely fit more into that two-way category. I played some years at O mid, played some years at D mid. This past year with the PLL, I played D midi. Um, but I had a lot of different responsibilities during my time at Yale. Like I played offense, played defense, took wings, played man up, played man down. So I had a lot of different responsibilities,
Yeah,
um, which I'm super thankful I had the opportunity to kind of wear all those different hats. But understanding kind of when I need to exert my energy because an all-out sprint for 60 minutes in a lacrosse game, it's a lot, especially at the midfield position when, you could have a rep where you sub on to clear the ball, you play offense, you play
yeah.
defense, you got to clear it again. That
And
can get,
add in like the 80 degrees or whatever how
yeah,
hot it is
yeah,
playing.
exactly, exactly. Like some of those shifts can get pretty grindy, and so, you know, you really got to stay consistent on when to put in 100% effort and when to kind of conserve some of that energy because
Yeah,
playing with a change of speed is super important, as you know.
yeah, absolutely.
But at the same time, when the game is late in the fourth quarter and it's in May and it's 90 degrees out there and
Yeah,
you've already run 10 miles, it's hard to run for sure.
yeah. You
You'll
feel like
feel
you just want to
it.
die. Yeah,
Yeah, you're in
absolutely.
quicksand. You're in
Yeah.
quicksand at that point.
What is it like getting to put on a uniform? Like, how does that impact you as a player and as a person?
As a player, um, just trying to uphold the culture that Yale has built, national championships, um, Ivy League championships, just some great teams, Wharton winners. That Yale jersey has produced a lot, and recognizing that, when you put on the Yale jersey, you're playing for your team that you have this year, and it's different from all the other years in the past, but just understanding the culture that Coach Shea has built there and that the program in general has built is it's definitely an honor and it comes with a lot of responsibility. So that's what I'd say as a player. And then as far as a person, obviously Yale's produced great players, Ben Reeves, Matt Brandow, some of
Mhm.
the best players in the country. Um, but on top of that, some of the best people and men in the country that I've ever had the chance to meet. Just like, looking at our alumni and some of them are super successful and making real impact in the world and just having the opportunity to learn from those types of people and being surrounded by very like-minded folks.
Yeah,
Um, it definitely gave me the opportunity to grow as a person and as a man.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you have any welcome to the PLL moments?
Let's think. Let's think. Uh, I would say there was a few, but when I had to guard Michael Sowers and Grant Ament for the first
Oh,
time,
okay.
uh, that was pretty tough.
Yeah.
Like Sowers is, I don't know if I've ever experienced someone move like he moves on the lacrosse field, just so explosive and agile. He can beat anyone in a one-on-one, and it's just super cool to be matched up in front of him. But yeah, there was definitely a
Yeah.
moment there in that first Water Dogs game where he put a move on me, and I was like, that's how we're moving. All
Where
right,
was it? Where was it?
like where on the field?
Yeah.
It was on the wing. I switched on to him. We played at Homewood Field last year.
Okay.
It was my second game ever because I missed the first two games with injury, and then I had played against the Whip Snakes, which look that I would say that was a welcome to the league moment in itself.
Yeah.
But the next game when I had to guard Sowers, I got switched on to him. Obviously, I'm a shorty. He's going to attack me, and we were just on the wing. He didn't even do anything special. He just kind of hit me with the hezzy, went down the alley, and kind of left me there. I didn't touch him.
Mm.
Didn't really
Did he
get
score?
close. He didn't score. No, we
He
have
did. Okay.
Entenmann. We have Entenmann in goal. He's not scoring on Liam.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, that moment, and
I
then
mean, don't be
yeah,
hating on Michael Sowers. That's my boy.
I'm not. You hear me talking him up? I'm
No,
saying
yeah.
he's good. I'm
Yeah.
not hating. Um, but yeah, that was a big moment, and
Yeah.
Grant Ament got me pretty good too against the Archers.
Yeah, he's a
He
beast.
he hit me with his little right to right shake that he did
Yeah.
at Penn State. I should have seen it coming, but yeah, he let me hear it too.
Yeah.
Talking a little shit
Um,
after.
what was it like getting to what was it like first getting to step out onto that field for the first time?
Dream come true. As a young player, I think it seems like such a dream and not necessarily a reality. Um, Given how talented the guys are, and you
Right.
know everyone's name that's in the league. Like
Yeah.
you know all these players, you knew them in college. You're like, wow, they're really the best of the best. And I think as a young kid, obviously playing professional sports is everyone's dream. If you play sports, getting to the professional level is everyone's dream, whether it's in the NBA, NHL, PLL, whatever it may be. And so just being able to say that you made it, and you made it to play professional sports is just super cool and definitely something that I don't take lightly.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, it's just such a big deal too. Growing up like or seeing that lacrosse isn't like a huge sport, but finally getting there, it's just really cool to look at.
definitely.
Um, what is it like getting to play with some pretty cool guys, including, like Connor Schoenberger, Trevor Baptiste, and, Liam? What's it like getting to play with those guys?
I'm in awe every time I'm on the field with them. Like just at practice, even getting to play against them and having to guard guys like Jeff Teat, and go against guys like Danny Logan and Brett Makar. Um, they're all so skilled, and like just watching Jeff Teat shoot the ball just
Yeah.
casually at practice, like getting shots up after practice. You just think you're like, how's he doing that? It's
Yeah.
like, and you see Connor Schellenberger and Xander Dixon in a two-man game, and they just flow so well together. You're like, how are they thinking like that? Like, I can't believe I'm on the same field as them. They're just so skilled, so talented, and yeah, I think we had a great locker room this past year. Our captains, Trevor, Danny, and Jeff, like they just do such a great job, and everyone's so humble. Um, and that's what I think really brought us to that championship.
Yeah. That's awesome. What's the biggest difference between college and the PLL? Was it bigger from the change from high school to college?
I'd argue that it was bigger, which I think might come as a surprise to some people.
Yeah, for sure.
But you know, you see all these top players in high school make a pretty seamless transition to college. And even guys that went under the radar in high school, they'll find their way onto the field, because I think it's more so, if you grow, if you're a hard worker, you grind, you do all the right things, you're gonna find time. That's not the reality in the pros. It's you have to be all American. You have to be all conference player. You have to be the best of the best. And so being surrounded by guys that were all, in the tour conversation, national championships, um, all captains of their team, all American players, like I'd say that jump is larger than the high school to college jump.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, and that's a topic that everyone goes back and forth between because it just it just really I feel like you can't really talk about it unless you really experience it. So it's cool getting to like talk with it because I've talked with a few guys and I think you may be the first person that said that the PLL, the jump from college to PLL is bigger.
Really
Yeah. Um,
interesting.
yeah. I've talked with, Ben Ware on the
Yep.
Water Dogs, Jackson Iker,
Nice.
some other PLO guys, but they've mostly said that college or high school to college was bigger, which is I just want to hear all their points, but it's cool.
Yeah. No, I mean,
Um,
there's an argument to make for sure on both
yeah.
sides.
What was it like getting to win the championship game for the New York Atlas? Were there any special moments from that run? I'm sure there were.
Yeah, I mean, I could talk for days on end about the championship and
Yeah,
just the season in general, but yeah, having the opportunity to win that my rookie year, um, dream like blessing, dream come true, all the
yeah.
above.
Rookie year too.
Yeah, yeah. I definitely found my way into a very, you know, rewarding situation.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that championship day was super cool, and I think something that I'll never forget was, I don't know, were you there? Were you there at the
Where?
game?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I
Oh,
was there.
nice.
Yeah, yeah,
So,
yeah.
um,
Well, not the championship, the semifinal.
semis, okay,
Yeah,
okay. So I guess on that, well, I'll start with the semis. I scored my first career goal against the Water Dogs, um, in the semis. So that was super cool.
yeah,
Also, just being from Pennsylvania and playing the semifinals in front of a lot of friends and family that were able to make it was awesome at the same time. So scoring that goal in front of my loved ones was awesome. And then in the championship game, moment that stood out to me was right after the national anthem. They had like these fireworks and explosion go off in the background,
yeah.
and it was loud. It really startled me, and I was like, wow, this is just a very awesome experience, and it's a whole production, and so much has gone into that game. And
Yeah.
so that was a moment where I was like, just pregame. I mean, there's clips of it, that right after the anthem's over of those fireworks going off, and it's just like
Wow,
this
this
is
is
kind
it.
of this. Yeah, this is it. You just
Yeah,
like sit there and all for a second, like, wow, this is the championship game.
yeah.
So
And just, thinking now, rookie year too. That's crazy.
yeah, yeah.
But super cool. So I know that Alice is competing in the championship series. What are you most looking forward to that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to playing a little bit more offense. I played a defensive role this past year, which I loved. I love playing defensive midfield. Also love playing offense. So obviously, there's no long pulls, no face-offs, a lot of back and forth. So no matter what position you play, if you play close defense regularly and you're playing in sixes, you're going to have opportunities to score. You're going to have
Yeah,
opportunities to have the ball in your stick. And so definitely looking to showcase my ability a little bit more in sixes.
in
And then,
offense.
yeah, exactly.
It's gonna be cool.
Yeah. And then also just getting to play with my guy, Matt Trainer,
Yeah,
Matty. He's going to be so good, and just doing a little two-man action with him is gonna be fun. He's my
yeah,
rookie buddy, so just competing with him again and everyone else out there.
yeah.
Yeah,
That's gonna be awesome.
yeah.
All right. Well, now we're gonna do rapid fire, which is just like a quick question, quick answer.
So
All right. Favorite stick setup?
ECD ion head with ECD mesh, and I like the gate. I don't even know what it's called. GC3 shaft, maybe.
Okay.
Do you know it?
Okay. Go to lacrosse.
Paul Rabel.
Horrible. Black cleats or white?
Black for me.
Black. Okay.
Yeah.
BTB pass or step down goal?
Step down goal.
Okay.
Like Hugh Kelleher.
Yeah. Energy drink or coffee?
Coffee, no doubt. I go crazy off the energy drinks.
Okay. Best Atlas uniform.
The white, all white on the top and bottom, and navy blue helmets.
Okay. Yeah. I like that one too.
Yeah.
Um, Favorite meal before a game?
Spaghetti and meatballs. Keep it
Whoa.
simple.
Really? Okay.
Keep it
Um,
simple. Pasta.
yep.
Yep.
Wall ball or workouts?
Rapid fire. I'm not doing a good job. I'll go workouts though.
Okay. Defense or offense?
Defense.
Okay. Favorite team to play in college?
Play against.
Yeah.
Um, Penn State.
Penn State. Okay. Favorite spot on Yale campus?
Cross campus
Crocs campus.
in the
Okay.
summer,
In the
in the
summer.
spring, in the spring.
Okay. And then lastly, go to karaoke song.
Go to karaoke is 1,000 miles.
1,000 miles. Okay.
Yeah,
I've never heard of that. I gotta listen to
you'd
it.
know it. You'll know it. You'll
All
know
right.
it.
I will. All
Yeah.
right. All right. Well, that's all I got. Thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me. Had a great time. Love chatting.
Yeah, it was awesome.
It's happy to chat, man.
Yeah, thanks for coming on, and maybe we can stay in touch. And I'd love to maybe meet up if you're in the championship series.
Of course. Yeah. Let's do some in-person stuff when I'm down
Okay,
there in Virginia.
sweet. Let's go.
Yeah.
All
Let's do
right.
it.
Thank you. All right.
All right, man.
Have a good
Yeah.
night.
Have a good one, you too.
All right.